My God, the moment in time you feel so inspired, my gorgeous Virgo. The moment in time you feel so inspired. And you know what? It's not coming from one person. It's not coming from two people. It's not coming from three people. It's coming from so many different people here. Like, oh my God. So this in itself means that this is a lot to do with collective power. And I'm not surprised about this whatsoever, because you are ridiculously intuitive. You're in tune with yourself. You're in tune with your energies. You're in tune with earthly energies. So when it comes to the power of the actual collecting power, you know, this doesn't surprise me whatsoever. Maybe you're gonna be watching like a group of people, or you're gonna hear a group of people, and something is gonna inspire you so much. Something is gonna happen within, you know, something is gonna change, something is gonna be said, and something is gonna be done, which is going to change your mind about something really specific. And at that moment in time, you are going to walk through the sacred doors. And at that moment in time, as soon as you walk through the sacred doors, you need to understand that this in itself is really going to make an impact in your life, a mind-blowing impact in such a way where you're gonna be pulled down right where you should be. And this in itself is gonna ground you. It's gonna help you with your own focus, but then again, it's gonna create this magical moment where you're gonna reconnect with yourself. And you're gonna be reconnect with yourself in such a way where you're gonna be instantly reminded of some kind of plan that you've had, some kind of plan that is so important to you. Listen to me very carefully. This is to do with your life. This is to do with your life in general. This is to do with your happiness. This is to do with things that make you feel optimistic. This is to do with things that keep you going. This is to do with things that make you feel so passionate, you know. And when we follow our passion, this is exactly what we need to do, because when we follow our passion, we do find ourselves on the right path. So why am I trying to say this here? That this collective power is gonna play a mind-blowing role when it comes to you reconnecting with yourself and understanding the importance of some kind of a plan that you've been having, that you've been thinking about for so long now. And I'm not saying that you didn't do anything about it, but only now, my gorgeous Virgolini, something is going to change like big time, and you're gonna have this great sense of importance and a great sense of urgency to make the necessary step in order for things to start moving on in your life once again. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying things weren't moving on in your life, but you will see exactly what I mean, because it's going to become absolutely obvious. What do you need to do? What do you have to do? It's a lot to do with your inner calling, but then again, it's a lot to do with you being honest with yourself. Because now suddenly you're going to become aware of several different aspects of your life that have actually come to an end a while ago. And almost as if you're like trying to prove your point to yourself with something that has come to an end like a long time ago. So now entirely everything is going to be down to you, literally. And there is somebody who's so close to you, somebody who's so important to you, somebody who means to you so much, somebody who understands you on so many different levels. It's also going to agree with you, and that particular person is going to be ridiculously excited and ridiculously happy for how adamant you are going to feel with something that particular person felt adamant for so long. You felt this, you had this within you all along, but only now you will know, my gorgeous Virgolini, what to do. It's this absolutely mind-blowing great sense of urgency that is going to start changing everything, because at the same time, as I said, you will know exactly what do you need to do. You will know exactly which step do you need to make? Do you need to take? But normally you will be like, no baby, no, I'm not brave enough, I'm not strong enough, it's not the right time. You will just find any excuse. But now it's going to be obvious how many things have come to an end, and now it's all going to be entirely down to you, entirely up to you, my gorgeous Virgolini. Indeed, this is so important. And also the moment in time, my gorgeous Virgolini, you see an unusual animal. It's going to be an unusual animal this week who is actually going to cross your path. This unusual animal is going to get your attention. It is going to be impossible for you not to notice this unusual animal. And let me tell you, this unusual animal can maybe even be a cat, for example. Cat, you know, maybe unusual color, maybe doing something really unusual, but there is something going to be so unusual about that particular animal that you're going to feel, that you're going to see, and at that moment in time, you're also going to feel something within, feel something really unusual. You're going to be reminded of something completely different, which is also going to blow you away, but it's also going to be a sign to pay attention to something really, really important that can slip, slip away. And it's going to be a long time until you have this to deal with again, and it's important. It's so important. And on another note, as soon as you become aware of this animal, as soon as you see this unusual animal, as soon as an unusual animal cross your path, please try to remember this. It's just so significant. You need to pay attention to what exactly was on your mind, because you will see that you are standing in your own way again about something. It's to do with a certain option that you must kind of like start seeing in a different light at that moment in time. There is some kind of option that you keep on ignoring, and that option is going to reveal itself then and there. Maybe you weren't even aware of this option, that you're doing this consciously. Maybe you were doing this like really subconsciously, which is nothing unusual whatsoever. But as soon as you see an unusual animal, this is also going to be a sign, your sacred sign, to pay attention to that particular option in your mind that you're persistently ignoring. And this is so important. Until you jump into that option, until you take this option seriously, a lot of other things are kind of going to be affected as well, especially when it comes to the greatest people in your life, because this is also to do with something that was affecting your relationships with people. It's to do with something that was preventing you to be honest with yourself. So you really need to kind of take this option seriously. It's an option that you think that you're not maybe strong enough to do, or you think it's not the right time. Whichever excuse you kind of bring yourself to like kind of around, as soon as you think about this option, you need to release, you need to let go, and you need to take this option really, really seriously. And even if it seemed like something absolutely utter ridiculous or whatsoever, no baby, no. This is something that is pretty much so highlighted, and it's imminent for you to do. Do not ignore this option whatsoever, because it's the part of your spiritual journey, it's the part of who you are. And that particular option, as soon as you take this seriously, as soon as you start considering this option, you need to understand that in exactly 11 days after that moment in time, something magnificent is going to happen. Something magnificent is about to enter your life. And what is going to happen and what is going to enter your life, it's also going to open your eyes. It's going to create a really great awakening moment, but most importantly, it's also going to provide you with an information. You're going to become aware of an information that lots of people do not even kind of become aware of until, at all in their life. You know what I mean? So it's to do with something very specific that you're going to find out, specific information, but then again, it's going to be crucial when it comes to your planning, because you will know how to plan something properly, So it's to do with your near future, of course, but it's to do with something quite important as well. And also, my gorgeous Virgolini, right at the beginning of this week, you see, yes, you are going to have this, something it's going to really a little bit maybe scare you, something is going to make you feel a little bit paranoid. And this in itself is going to happen in form of an unexpected change. Okay, so this unexpected change that you're going to become aware of, it's something which is like kind of going to confuse you a little bit, because in itself it's bringing a very, very unusual revelation. As soon as you become aware of this revelation, this in itself is kind of gonna maybe confuse you a little bit. And I can see you talking to somebody after that moment in time, talking to somebody really kind of prominent in your life, somebody really wise, somebody really clever, somebody very powerful in your eyes. You're going to be talking to somebody extremely wise, and that extremely wise person that you're going to be talking to, it's really going to surprise you even more how experienced they are with so many different aspects of your life. You will be talking to somebody really specific about it, but you're not going to think that that particular person is going to have such an amazing advice which you're actually going to get. And this is going to surprise you, but it's not about your surprise, my gorgeous Virgolini. It's more about the actual advice that this particular person is going to give you. This particular person is going to give you absolutely excellent, brilliant advice right now. And the advice that you are going to get, it's going to put you in such a fantastic mode where something was scaring you. Now you're going to feel so passionate about dealing with it, because almost as if like you're going to find out like a little secret how to deal with like an aspect of your life that lots of people would kind of, oh my God, cry. And now you will be able to kind of like deal with this in a completely different way. The bottom line is that the advice that this person is going to give you, it's more about you knowing what to do to be in charge. It's more about being in charge right now, being in charge of important decisions that you're going to need to make. This is a lot to do with your independence. It's a lot to do with things that make you feel really optimistic, but it's also a lot to do with the fact that this particular person is really going to inspire you to some kind of creative achievement. This is important because it's going to put you in a mode for action, and then again at the same time it's going to make you feel very excited. It's going to lead towards your own freedom. So many things are going to start taking off with this. This is brilliant because you are going to start gaining momentum here, my gorgeous Virgolini. Indeed, this in itself is going to make you feel really, really energetic, and it's going to start bringing stability and structure into your life. Yes, there is some kind of addiction here that I'm seeing. Yes, there is some kind of addiction here that I'm seeing that you are really going to kind of need to do something about. And when it comes to addictions, please don't get me wrong. I said this many times. Addictions, they come in so many different ways. So you are kind of, it's going to be brought to your attention, something that you're addicted to. And now you're going to realize that, this addiction is just making kind of things worse for you. You're using this addiction to kind of run away from things, and then the things that you have been kind of running away from were just kind of making you even more of a burdened. They were making even more overloaded. They were making even more stressed, and they were just becoming bigger and bigger problems, so this addiction kind of did put you away from the certain responsibilities just for a short period of time. So now this is going to be a great awakening moment when it comes to the particular specific addiction that you are going to need to do something about it. And also there is someone who is just randomly going to say this to you and mention this to you, this addiction and the addiction of yours, for example. And they're not going to say this to you personally. They're not going to think about you, but it's just going to come out through the actual conversation. Your addiction is going to be mentioned by somebody else, but it's not going to be pointed at you. But this is going to remind you of you. This is going to remind you of exactly what you are addicted to. And this is also going to happen through the power of synchronicity. It's going to feel good. It's going to feel brilliant. But it's also things that haven't been felt real so far are going to start becoming real as well. And also, my gorgeous Virgolini, when it comes to the beginning of this week, absolutely amazing experience that you are going to have. This experience that you are going to have, it's going to make you aware of something very interesting about yourself as well, like you want to tap into something further. But then on another note, this beautiful and positive experience which you are going to have, it's going to make you aware of not to be afraid and not to be scared to move on from some kind of old plans right now. This is going to bring a wonderful balance into your life, where you are on one hand going to become very confident about what you want to do. It's going to prove your point, but then on another hand, you're also going to do the right thing in terms of flexibility as well, in the best possible way. This is going to reflect on your flexibility, and this is important, because when you don't feel flexible enough with things that you're passionate about, and something is wrong. Your passion should always feel number one, because then you just start losing yourself, amongst so many other things, and the deeper you go, the harder it's gonna be to come out of it. You don't want to get used to like doing things just because you're doing them for the sake of things. It's more about finding that absolutely mind-blowing balance through your own alignment and just doing things that are connected to your soul. This is all what this spiritual journey is all about, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed. By the time you get to the mid part of this week, okay, you are going to feel a little bit negative. Something is gonna a little bit scare you, and something it's like kind of gonna something it's gonna scare you a little bit, and almost it's as if it's like you're gonna be thinking that you regret something here, not doing something. But at that moment in time, as soon as you kind of start feeling a little bit down and a little bit negative because you're gonna regret for not doing something, this is where this is all coming from. You need to understand that this is gonna be a sign. This is gonna be a very specific and very unique sign, where you're gonna need to understand that there are, as soon as you become aware of this, you need to understand that in exactly 2 weeks there are very important things which are going to be revealed. These important things which are going to be revealed to you are almost like connected to some kind of like a spirit guide or an angel, because at around that time you're also going to feel some kind of entity around you, and you are going to feel good. You're going to be doing something, you're going to be working on something that you would never do or never work on, but you are going to feel protected as well at the same time. You're going to be going through some kind of a challenge, but you are going to be able to kind of feel some kind of entities and spirits around you, like you're guided. Very sacred moment indeed. So exactly 2 weeks after this moment in time, you're going to be dealing with some kind of a challenge where you are going to feel like you're sacredly guided by some kind of spirit or a guardian angel. It's very difficult to explain, my gorgeous Virgolini, but this is exactly what is going to happen. And exactly in 2 weeks time, there are certain things which are actually going to be revealed, and you will see that there is nothing to regret whatsoever. It's gonna like kind of make you think about the things that you regret, that made you feel sad and negative, and now you're gonna see that if things didn't happen the way they actually happened, you would just unnecessarily be stuck in your past, and you do not want to live your life that way, because it just slows so much on your spiritual journey. So this is why this is going to be so important. And at around the midweek also, you're going to find yourself like chilling out, relaxing, or you're going to find yourself meditating. Like, oh my God, whether you're chilling out and relaxing, you could even be walking somewhere in the forest, you could be doing something that it feels so good for you. When you reconnect with the nature and doing things within the nature, it does kind of a lot. It's very beneficial for your spirit, for your soul, and things like that when it comes to us getting to this meditation stage. So whether you're going to be chilling out and relaxing, whether you're going to be meditating, whether you're going to be walking somewhere within the forest, my point is that you're going to be within your mind, you're going to be in this meditation state. And there is something very, very interesting which is actually going to come to you. And what is going to come to you is interesting is that you, because you're going to find yourself being in this very much so universal flow, very powerful time indeed. And that in itself like kind of like brings insight. And there is something very interesting which is going to come to you, some kind of decision that you're going to need to make, you know. And that particular decision that you're going to need to make, it's a lot to do with a certain compromise. And as soon as you become aware of this, and like about 2 or 3 days later, there is going to be at around the end of this week, at around the end of that week, it's going to be like a really good news which you are going to have. And that particular good news that you're going to have, it's going to be connected to the specific challenge which you are going to need to accept. Now if you didn't take all this seriously, you would never accept that challenge that it's so important for you to accept. It's one of the most important challenges of your life. So this is the moment that I'm talking about. This is the moment that you need to be aware of, my gorgeous Virgolini, okay? So at the end of the week, as soon as you become aware of this good news, you know, it's like, oh my God, a whole new inspiration is going to happen here as well. But that good news, it's really kind of going to also, there is going to be a challenge connected to it. And you would never accept this challenge if all this didn't happen beforehand. So important, my gorgeous Virgolini, indeed, because it is going to it is going to bring that creative spark, you know, and it's going to bring that creative spark. It's a lot to do with the new beginning, new start, new page, new leaf, but it's also going to it's a lot to do with the creative spark, you know, and finding a new passion. Is to do with you being so enthusiastic, but also feeling so urgent, you know, feeling this urgency, you know, in order to accept a challenge that before you would run away on miles from it if it happened only like about a week ago or so. Absolutely incredible. And also at around the end of the week, I'm so happy for you, my gorgeous Virgolini, because this in itself, this little baby here is like saying hello my darling, hello back. You know, this little baby here, it's a lot to do with you working on something so persistently. I love you so much for it. You haven't been cocky, you haven't been like, oh my God, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You were just so like, oh my God, content with what you were doing. You were keeping certain things to yourself. You were very, very modest, bless your heart. It's to do with something that lots of what you were working on, what you were doing, you just kept certain things to yourself, and that's probably the right way to be. Do you know what I mean? Because the tree grows to be really powerful, the actual tree, in a silence, and it's very tiny, and then it becomes absolutely massive. You don't hear the tree growing. Do you see what I mean? So this is coming from some kind of like a quiet growth. Quiet growth, can I even explain it like this? It's coming from the stage of your life where you've put so much energy towards something really specific to do with your success and things like that, but it's also to do with the silent growing, and it's also to do with the things that you have been keeping to yourself. This is so important to you, bless your heart. You put so much energy towards something really specific, and the bottom line here is that at around the end of the week, you are gonna be so happy with yourself because it's to do with a great, amazing achievement, and you really, really, really deserve this, my gorgeous Virgolini. Amazing achievement, brilliant success, a brilliant victory. I can describe this as a winning, my gorgeous Virgolini, and having the advantage in life. You're gonna realize how different you are. You're gonna realize how powerful you are. This is to do with a great achievement. You know, but at the same time, it's to do with like a recognition and you know, like also on another note, you know, this is gonna be brilliant because it's gonna happen unexpectedly. And I did say yes, you were working on this for a long time, and yes, you were kind of getting things out of it, but not as successful as this is actually going to become. This is really going to surprise you, and I'm so pleased because you felt injustice for the last maybe 2 or 3 years. You felt a great injustice when it comes to something really specific connected to it. Maybe you were working on something so much, you gave so much of your energy in, towards this, but then you just couldn't understand how maybe some other people got so much out of something that you were working on, and you didn't. So it's like some kind of injustice that you felt, and even more so, this is bringing absolutely brilliant results indeed. You need to understand this is going to happen completely unexpectedly. As I said, it's not like you didn't expect this, but you did not expect the extent to where this is actually going to go to. You're going to feel like, oh my God, like I am having a really good luck right now, you know. That's exactly how you're going to feel. But then again, at the same time, you know, all this is going to happen completely spontaneously. And that in itself, you know, it's also like kind of going to make you aware of the fact like how, you know, how powerful you are. But it's also going to point the way towards your own freedom, towards your own originality. And you're going to become aware of a very, very interesting, beautiful, gorgeous, probably one of the best adventures of your life coming up. This is gonna really not only gonna help you to reconnect with yourself like never before, but there is so much that is gonna be on your mind now in terms of planning, and you're gonna become aware of one specific adventure here that you're gonna become so excited about, you know, so excited about indeed, you know, like, oh my God, it's about you turning over new leaf, my gorgeous Virgolini, and then at the same time, this is gonna bring such a accomplishment into your life. But when it comes to an important completion, when it comes to your own fulfillment, my gorgeous Virgolini, when it comes to you reaching your goal, when it comes to you expanding your horizons, you know, this is gonna reflect on your physical and emotional health in the best possible way. This is absolutely brilliant, and it's going to put you in such a mind-blowing mode, especially when it comes to planning for your future, which at this stage you are gonna become super excited about. Okay, my gorgeous Virgolini, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.